Look. Doughboy, what it is. I'ma handle my biz.
Okay.
CT got a hoodie on. It says it's about the kids.
Facts.
I'm about to eat ribs with some macaroni cheese. When I go and get a bitch, I say, ho, come please. No, I really don't.
I hope not.
You think I'm falling off? I won't.
No.
I be getting with a comb.
Facts.
And I ain't even got no waves. Okay, I don't even know what I'm doing. I gotta get the waves, man. You just fade us out.
Please.
Fade us out.
Damn it.
How you feeling, man?
I was feeling so hopeful for that.
Man, I was thinking, and before you got here, I didn't think you were going to show up on time. So I thought I had well, you were early.
I was
About
early.
15 minutes early. So I thought I had some time to jot down a few bars like last week.
I'm never late, but I definitely was earlier today.
Earlier. So then, I didn't get to, fresh up on those
First of all,
bars.
to everybody who's watching, Doughboy shows up. First of all, it's an incredible quality that you have. You show up 30 minutes early to everything. I thought it was just like 10 or 15. You show up to 30 minutes early for everything.
Absolutely.
I show up literally 5 minutes to spare or a minute to spare before.
But you always just casually walking in like,
Right
I'm
on
not
time.
late.
Let me just tell the people, man. Doughboy wanted to talk about aliens today.
I'm so upset with you.
Let's just discuss.
First of all, do we need to go back to the texting conversation
that
about
wasn't
this?
a bad. Read the text, Doughboy.
Jeez. Okay.
This was not a bad one.
Because we had one yesterday and you had to call me like, hey, man.
Because I knew how you were going to
I
take
don't even
it.
want that. All right,
Hold on, man.
All right, so this is.
The people love this.
I'm sick of you. So this is all right. And I hate one-worded answers if you don't know.
Okay. And this is going to tie into, because yesterday and today's conversation is going to tie into the result of why I'm going to tell you this. Go ahead.
So this is yesterday at 7:40 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll start. I said, "What up, bro? What's your thoughts on aliens?"
I said, no.
That's not even a way to answer that question.
No.
So you
Because
just
I know what tree you're barking up. Go ahead.
So I'm like, knowing is you don't want to discuss it on the pod?
I said, absolutely, LOL, not.
Okay. I said, understood. Well, are there any other topics you don't want to talk about that I should know so I don't waste time pitching them?
Mm-hmm. And I said, it's more of a case-by-case basis, I think. But aliens, nah. I enjoy the things that you're passionate about, but I'd love the next thing you're going to be passionate about to be sooner.
And then you called me, and then we cleared it up. Then we were going back and forth today, and then...
Oh, you said... Please watch the videos, kind sir. They aren't too long. See you tonight.
Right. And then what did you respond with?
Oh, I said, okay. And then I said, and not watching the alien video too long. It was 13 minutes.
Bro, you have to drive here. It takes you 30 minutes. Turn off the Kanye.
Are you ready?
Okay.
So then you say...
It don't make sense to talk about stuff if we're not both knowledgeable about it. I noticed that last week when I tried to explain, unsuccessfully in parentheses, what happened on JBP.
That's the Joe Budden podcast.
Yes.
Which people were in the comments apparently angry at.
Because I didn't...
They did have a contract. Doughboy, you need this. Like, jeez Louise.
So they said, you can literally play it in the car on the way there. LOL. If you're not going to watch it, I'll scrap it for another topic. And then what did you say?
Scrap it then.
I was so angry. I threw the phone like, son of a bitch.
Scrap
Why
it.
don't you want to talk about the existence of aliens?
Okay, first of all, this show, I feel, is so fun. Mm-hmm. And the people who watch it, the donation, Team CT, and the random people who find us enjoy our chemistry talking about stuff that we're passionate about.
Mm-hmm. You ain't passionate about aliens?
No, I am not. I love science fiction, but aliens are so... Yes, there are aliens, but the fact that nobody knows anything about them, I'm like, why even discuss this? We've all seen UFOs. We've all seen something crazy, but to not have concrete... He could be an alien. This ain't even Cole. Did Cole get fired? We ain't seen Cole in a couple of weeks.
Does Cole not be here during the week? He only here on the weekends?
Cole's here.
He be here?
He's just monitor.
Okay.
Oh,
all right. So got it. We tell
he
him
fired that's what it is. He can't, white people stick together.
But this is the thing, though, you got to think about
Let go.
It's a lot closer. I know you said you like science fiction.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot closer to science nonfiction. Let me tell you about the video that I tried to tell you. Even though we don't have to discuss it and do a deep dive.
So before you get to your point, it was 13 minutes long.
Okay.
And you just said, man, turn off the Kanye. Now you're cutting into the relaxation time that I have in the car. And you got to remember, I don't leave the house. So when I leave the house,
you gotta turn the
and I'm
music
listening to music, I'm like, this is really dope. So
and you got a dope sound system in your vehicle.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? So
I wouldn't want you wasting your sound system on an alien video
13
YouTube.
minutes. And then if it's not fire, I'm going to be angry when I get here.
But see, that's the thing.
It's fire. And then the other thing that takes the time, when you were texting me yesterday and texting me today, I need you to understand this. I love video games. When I tell you the video games that I play with the members of Team CT that are my friends now.
In real life.
Like it's beyond, hey man, I like your work. It's like it's like a family.
A village.
I get so relaxed being on that game and kicking it with the squad, and I designate a certain amount of time. So when I'm playing a game, if anybody hits me, it's like, hold on, y'all. And then I look. So when you hit me, it's like, bro, Doughboy, I love you to all my heart. As a matter of fact, I want to give you your flowers right now.
Me flowers?
Yes, man. I realize I haven't done this.
Nice.
I do it on the regular with your talents, but I haven't told you because I always be like, yo, BT's my best friend. And I'm like, yo, that's such a slight to this dude because Doughboy doesn't realize he's also one of my best friends. Like, literally, there is... all of them know there's literally like it's like 8 of us. You know what I'm saying? But you're one of my best friends.
Man, that makes me feel so good.
I don't want you to think that you're that BT edges you out. The only thing that BT has over you is he's ridiculous. But BT can be talked to. You can't be talked to.
But BT got that breath when he talks.
Look, you're not gonna do that to BT on this. No.
I'm like, how is this nigga surviving with
Listen.
the mask on? I love BT, but he know his breath ain't shit.
How is he walking around full of life
Just with the red eyes?
Because he keep the mask on.
I'll be like,
he be at my crib with the mask on. I'm like, all right, brother, you gonna kill yourself. I appreciate you keeping it on, but I don't know if you realize.
Oh, you still breathing, nigga?
But so here's the thing, right? So you can't be spoken to. Like when you have, so you asked me about the aliens. We get on the phone. I had already said no. You said, you were like, all right, cool. We're not going to talk about it. So let me just ask you this, man. Like, what do you think about aliens? I said, no, boy. Just talk to, we wasted time. Give me a new nickname.
No, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
New nickname alert. Last of the Dohikans.
Why do they call you last of the Dohikans, though, boy?
Because I'm a historical fat nigga. I'm the last of a frying breed. Yes.
Legendary fat nigga, you're last of a frying breed?
Listen, if that wouldn't work, I would have discontinued no new nickname alert. So I was like, I can't be batting 50. I needed you to have the likeness one.
You know what I'm noticing? When you...
I was sitting there, I was crumpling up papers like, God damn it, nothing's going to work.
Like Robert Townsend at 5 Heartbeats. That's not the one. The sister get it out the trash. I like it.
I got nothing but love.
Bro, this is what I'm noticing about your new nickname alerts. When you... It's either A or B. It's either A, the nickname itself is fire.
Right.
Or the description.
It's very rarely both are going to hit.
But sometimes you do.
Every now and
Did you
again.
turn us down? I feel like something turned down. Let me get a...
You know, he loved hearing some him.
I mean, you know.
That's good.
I don't love hearing music. You know what it is? When I watch the playback of these, I hear you so clearly because your voice is louder than mine. I write on the mic. Your voice projects.
You know what I've been realizing?
What?
That's been problematic. That's another thing I want to talk to you about. This happens to me on stage. I yell on stage, and we'll get into that.
Well,
go ahead. How was your week? How was your weekend? How were things?
Stop. And when you write these up, stop saying how was everybody's week. It's just me and you. This is the just us league.
Who's everybody? Anyone else?
Guests?
How was Swole Cole's weekend? Nigga, did you hit traps and lats? Side note, before we get into anything else, I want to talk to you about this. I'm in a very awkward phase in my weight loss.
Okay.
Well, first off, I ain't losing none. So that's a problem.
Okay.
So that's the problem. But this is, okay, I've never been here. So one time before, I had went on a weight loss journey, right? This is back like in 01-ish, right?
Okay.
And I had went on a weight loss thing, and I remember I got like a book to like lose weight, and it said, take a picture of yourself and put it somewhere in plain sight. So I took a picture of myself. This is back when I was like just before I hit 300.
Okay.
So I was like maybe 250, 260.
Nice.
Take a picture with my shirt off, and I put it on the refrigerator to motivate me. Every time I'm supposed to go eat, I'm supposed to see this. You fat piece of shit, don't do it, right? Okay. Long story short, I did this at like New Year's Eve, right around June. Nothing has happened. Matter of fact, I've gained weight. And so now, like by the end of that year, but the picture still remained. So by the end of the year, I'm looking at the picture much bigger than the picture now. And I'm looking at the picture like, I got to get back down to this size. And this was the starting point. So that was the fucked up part back then. But now it's a totally different situation. So just to let you know, like about my weight loss thing. So we know the high was 486. When I lost the weight and Russell gave me the 10 racks, I got down to 285. Nice. 285 was kind of the number that kind of was just the 200 pounds.
I didn't know he paid for that. That's dope.
He gave me 10 racks.
I'm never counting anybody's pockets. But I was like, that's got to be a costly surgery. How does a guy with four roommates? I was like, his insurance has to be incredible.
No, that's the thing. The insurance covered that. He just gave me 10 grand, like, congratulations for you doing your thing. So now this is the messed up part. So last year, I had been moonlighting at 285 for a few years.
You were moonlighting.
Right? And so then last year, because, I started drinking again, and when I drink, I eat less, I got down to about 245.
Wow.
So this is about November, right? Okay. So around November, I'm like 245, and so I'm like, I need to do something bold and proclamative so I don't go back to the fat ways,
Word choice.
Go through my closet, gather up all the clothes, because now at 245, I was at, 38 for the jeans. I was like, oh my God, I haven't been here since 6th grade. This is lit. So then boom, I'm living my life. I'm like, I'm ready for this. So I'm like, okay, take all the clothes that are too big, all the 40, the 42s, the 3X shirts, put it in a bag, get it out of here, throw it away.
Get it all.
So I got all the old clothes and I bagged them up, put them in the trunk, but I'm lazy, hadn't taken them back. So since November, I've been driving around with the fat clothes in the trunk. And the 40 pounds that I lost, I found. And so now I keep finding myself sneaking downstairs and getting into the trunk and opening up the bags and getting shit that fit, because the 38s don't fit no more. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. I was supposed to be at 225 by the 4th of July. That ain't gonna happen.
Listen, man, let me tell you something, brother. Don't say that.
Okay.
Because what you say out loud, you create.
Right.
So if you say that you want to do that, you can do it.
But I don't, bro. I've been eating, man. I made a fully functional burrito yesterday at 4:45 a.m. It wasn't a breakfast burrito. It had sour cream and ground turkey. I don't know what's wrong.
Because everybody asks this question all the time when people are gaining weight or losing weight. Nobody asks themselves, why do you want to be a certain size? Like, if you're somebody who gains weight, not talking about you, just talking about in general, like, I'm a big guy. If you're a big guy, or you're a big girl, or you're a small dude, you're a small girl, why do you think you want to be, you said 225?
Because I feel like 225 is a normal size. I feel like that's still big, because at 6 feet, I'm supposed to probably really be, if I go by the graph, like, 185, 190. But with this head, that's not going to happen.
Let me tell you something, brother. That head.
I wouldn't be able to keep my balance. So, go back. So I think 225, and plus it was just a goal.
Yeah.
When at 486, it just seemed so far. And then to get as close as 245 in November. And then now, so I'm just like.
Can I tell you something? You're putting too much pressure on yourself, number one. Number two, this is something I learned from Tangerine. Tanjareen. I'm so tired. Anyway, I know it's a ridiculous name, but you got to spell it the way she spelled it. So tired of them. Well, that's the name. It's everywhere. If you go to her page, you follow her.
It is everywhere. Anyway. Low-key a jerk if you don't know this.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? I'll see her comment on my page, and then somebody will spell her name wrong. I'm like, how are you responding to this? Anyway, she told me this. Your life, you have to live your life as your goal, right? Your life isn't going to magically change once you get to this thing. It's kind of like when women be like, I ain't doing X, Y, and Z. I ain't letting no man do X, Y, and Z unless he my husband. You're not going to want to do X, Y, and Z when he is your husband, because you haven't gotten to that practice anyway.
You're right.
So for you wanting to be 225, start living. First of all, be happy with who you are now. As long as you're happy, everything else will be a bonus. So if you're happy at whatever you are, then now you can start living in the, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm feeling good, and then the weight will just magically fall off as you start doing more work that you want to do.
I need to do that, man, because I think I've just been stress eating.
Don't put stress on yourself, bro.
Red Bulling it up.
Bro, I remember I was talking to my dad.
Hawaiian roll ham sandwiches.
And it looked delicious. You deserve it.
I got one in my pocket, you know?
No, thank you. So, in my pocket. When you start keeping sandwiches in your pocket, boy.
Nigga be looking for like, what you looking for, your keys? No. Turkey sandwich. Turkey on rye.
I wonder where the mustard went. Anyway, so my dad, bro, I remember I told my dad, he was going through remission at this time. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm about to start this diet this particular day. And he was like, man, you better go eat you some ice cream. And I was like, what? I'm trying to get on this diet. He was like, dude, life is too short. And I get the other side of it, which is life is short if you're extremely unhealthy. Right. But at the same time, this man and more millions of people on this planet are dealing with health issues or, cancer or whatever. And I'm over here talking about it. It's like be happy, number one.
That's what I'm trying to find.
If you find your happiness, bro, everything that you want to accomplish will just fall into place because your mindset is attracting it. But if you keep beating yourself up, I'm not 225, you're going to keep feeling bad and getting depressed about not being 225, and then you're going to hurt your chances of being 225.
Be eating burritos at 4:45. It was fire, though.
I don't doubt it.
It was fire.
I wouldn't dare. The heartburn fear alone. Let me tell you something, bro.
And then I went to sleep.
What did I eat? I had some Panda Express the other night, and I got a plate. I had the Beijing beef.
Oh, the Beijing beef.
Fire. And then I had some broccoli and beef. Got to have the vegetables up in there with the rice.
So when did you get the orange chicken? Because if you didn't get
I don't do orange chicken. I
taste it. Step outside fight now or after the show? When did you want to trade hands?
No smoke. Trade. I got some. You can have some. And then I can take some of them.
Distribute.
So, bro, I ate some at I'm 35. I ate some at 9:15
p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
Bro, when I tell you I was asleep, I was like, what am I doing?
Why do we eat and then go to sleep?
I don't know. This heartburn came around at 30. I'm okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wild.
Oh, no. I be getting heartburn. There's certain things I can't really eat, like white bread, but I love white bread.
You can't eat white bread?
Pizza.
You can't eat pizza?
I think white flour is my arch nemesis.
It might be.
And that's what I love the most. How was your week, man? I had an eventful weekend. What was your weekend like?
Weekend was very relaxing. I got a chance to just kick it. Tangerine and I watched this show.
What's it called?
It's called The Startup.
On Netflix. Yes. Is it worth a watch?
It's worth.
Give me the D's. Don't give me any spoilers. Give me what am I watching when I go to see it?
Listen to me. When you go to this show is about, it's in the name.
Okay.
The Startup. The Startup is about this algorithm that needs to be funded. And every time they take 2 steps forward, they take 3 steps back, but there's a reason to each turn. And you get so invested.
Okay. It's funny. It's like a dramedy.
Yes, there's comedy in it. There's drama. There's mystery. There's crime. It's a crime thriller. It's crazy.
And how many seasons is it? Just
3.
It's 3. So where did it come from originally? If it's on Netflix,
Crackle.
I keep hearing about
a lot of shows. So Godfather Harlem is on Crackle.
Okay.
So a lot of shows that are on Crackle. Comedians in the Car Getting Coffee, Jerry Seinfeld, was on Crackle.
Okay.
Then Netflix picked it up. So a lot of shows that are on these smaller networks end up getting picked up by Netflix or somebody else, and more eyes get to it.
Nice. Okay. So The Startup.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It was good and bad at the same time.
Oh,
and I wanted to talk to you about that because you're like my comedy big bro, and I know people look to us.
Oh, the show, yeah. Well, how was the show? You went to Vegas.
So I had a show in Vegas.
Big Job.
Yeah, Big Job, Craig Smith, DeJuan Brown, Ken Edwin, and Charlie Newhart. So it's part of the Craig Smith's Facts podcast. And so we had a show out in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's at a black comedy club called the Extreme Comedy Club.
I love it.
You would love it out there. So let me tell you what happened. So first of all, I hadn't been on stage since November 2019, up until I did Shantae Wayans' show when you came to that.
Yeah.
That show was a little bit different because it was, it was in a house. Yep. It was in front of
virtual comedy.
I'm not really in front of that many people. And the people that I was in front of, there's a screen. So it's just a different level of. So I did fairly well, even though we talked. You gave me some notes, what I could do better.
Yeah. You didn't do bad at all.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate that. So that was getting the bugs out of the way.
Yeah.
Then I go to Vegas. Didn't have the same success. So I didn't do bad, but I did bad for what I did. For whatever reason, when I get on stage and I get flustered, I start you see me performing, you see me do good and bad. I'll start rushing, I start speaking really loud, I'll start missing punchlines because I'm getting nervous, and I didn't do what you told me to. There was a couple things you told me to do. I didn't do. The number one thing was the just resetting when I get to the stage, taking a deep breath and So I'm always just hyped up, jittery. So the first show, I would say, to me, was better than the second one. But both of them, I'd probably say the first one was maybe a 5.5, and the second one was maybe a 6.2 in my mind.
Ken said you were great.
Well, and I appreciate that, but you know what I mean. But we're our own worst critics.
Yes, and Ken will tell me the truth.
Right.
He'd be like,
yeah, boy. Though.
so that's why I'm like, oh, he's good.
But
you're your worst critic.
Except so I'm honest. So this is the analogy that I figured out, and I seen this like in a dream, but then I was able to translate it once I like kind of woke up, and I wanted to see what your thoughts are about this. Here is my plight with the stage. I look at the stage like this. I really do want to be a really good comedian.
Yeah.
But I've always been very, very afraid to say that. So the dream that I had was that there was $100 million check, and it was placed like on this chair, like on a stool, right? And then there was a mic in front of it and a spotlight. But then all around it was snakes. It was like it was in a snake pit. And I was wondering, like, why did this happen? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when I was going, every time I would try to go up to it, I would get like, I was afraid of the snakes. And then there was one really big snake that I really didn't want to look at. Like, I was just, so that was the dream. And I was like, what did that mean? Because I'd be trying, like, you know, going through therapy, I'd be trying, like, decode my dream. So I think I have it figured out. This is the thing that I think I'm dealing with. I'm so afraid of the audience and people to accept me, because I really am doing this as like a form of, I want you guys to accept me. So even the fear of having it be a snake, it's like the audience, and it's like I'm supposed to be scared, but they're really not going to hurt me. They're just there for me to talk to them. And then I realized this. What makes me want to do comedy the most is that I always wanted a close relationship with my dad. But me and him were never really close. And so when I used to always see him as a kid, he would laugh during Def Comedy Jam. So that would always make me want that. And still to this day, we don't have a great relationship. And so I'm looking like, not only am I trying to get the approval of these snakes, the biggest snake in my mind is my dad that I'm trying to build this with, like, and try to get his acceptance, but I don't know how I can do it. So it makes me feel like this is just such a big hurdle to jump over, and I don't know what to do because I want to be great.
Hey, man. Well, first of all, you're already great, but you want to be a better stand-up comedian.
Yes, and this is the last question I want to add, then I'll let you have the floor. You have this. You and Teddy Ray are like the best examples that I can find of this off the top of my head. You have the great skill of being the same person off of the stage, on the stage. You've even told me I'm one of the funniest people that you know.
Oh, my God.
I have been trying to find whatever everyone else sees with me off of stage, on the stage. So those are my questions. How can I get over that fear? And then how can I be myself on that stage? Because when I was up there saying this shit, I literally heard your voice in my head, like, when we was at BJ's, you was like, "Nigga, you wasn't talking about shit. Nobody want to hear these fat jokes." And I heard it louder and louder in my head. So please fix me, Dr. CT.
That's hilarious. Well, one, I'll say you might have been influenced or encouraged to start comedy because of your relationship with your father, because of Def Comedy Jam, but you've surpassed that. I don't know your father. I'm sure he's an amazing man, but you now have a different calling and responsibility. You have people that love you. You know what I mean? Like, you're such a likable dude on stage. The first thing that I tapped into getting on stage was my likability. Okay. I remember a comedian in Detroit was telling me, "Yeah, man, you relying too much on your personality. You got to write some jokes." And I was like, okay, don't focus on my personality, write the jokes. And then the more you do comedy, you realize that's what people are buying into.
Is the you.
They're not buying into the jokes. Jokes fade after a special. They're buying into you. That's the reason you want to see a comedian over and over again. It's not so much that Dave Chappelle is brilliant. He is, but you like him first. You like his personality. And then you're like, I'm on the ride. You know what I mean? So for you, my question is, how do you see the stage? You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to separate talking to me and talking to the crowd, how do you separate it?
I feel that's the one place where I feel the pressure, and I don't feel the pressure really anywhere. Like, that's the thing that makes my heart, and it could be 4 people in the audience or 4,000. It's just, I get nervous. I'm just like, it's going to be completely quiet. It's only going to be a light on me in a room full of strangers, and I got to find some way to connect with these people. And that makes me fearful because I feel like I haven't been accepted by people in my life. So when I go try to get acceptance from strangers, and if they're not laughing right away, I'm just like, "Oh, y'all don't love me either. Get the fuck out of here." So that's just the thing. It's like a scary place for me, and I just want it to be Like, if I could just have it to where it was, if I could bring you on stage with me and you just sit there and I could just defer to you, I'm like, yeah, man, this is great. So if I could find a way to just bring regular life, I know I could be great. And I feel like, because somebody told me a long time ago, God to put your biggest blessings where you're most afraid to go.
Yeah.
And that's the place that I'm most afraid to go. So I have to beat this. I'm just like, I got to get over whatever fear that I'm having that won't allow me.
Well, the main thing
to
you
be
said
myself.
it that you don't realize, you keep looking for acceptance when that's not what you have to look for. When you do stand-up, they already accept you as an audience because they, in this point, they know who you are. So it's like, you don't need to seek acceptance. You need to give them acceptance for you. When I get on stage, bro, first of all, not only do I not have a care in the world, I'm just like, listen. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you
because
about
this is my opportunity to, for however long I'm on stage, this is the time that I get that you can't interrupt me. You can't, this isn't a, you could post something online and somebody's, well, I don't agree with that. Like, you don't get a chance to talk.
It's already over. You missed it.
I'm saying this, and you got to hear it. You know, you're going to get a heckler sometimes, but it's like, you got to listen to what I'm saying.
You're right.
Yeah, they're there for you, bro. Like, and there's going to be a point where we do this podcast on the road in front of people,
Right.
and we're going to get their reactions to the stuff that we're saying in here. But when you're on that stage, bro, it's your freedom to say what's on your mind. It's your freedom to create. And I think where you are now, like when you performed at Shantae's, I was like, don't ask them no questions.
Right.
Because
that's another form of trying to seek acceptance.
And it creates problems.
Right.
What if you get a drunk chick and you like, yeah, man, anybody like Red Bull? I like Monster. I don't do Red Bull. And you be like, all right, baby girl.
I like these Red Bull ass niggas.
Because, you know, they said Red Bull give you wings. I don't want to fly nowhere. You like, all right, baby girl. Yeah, well, you asked me. And she's right.
Exactly.
Because you asked. So it's like, I ask questions, but it's more of a different type of vibe when I'm performing.
When I tell you the same jokes, that the stuff that I did that at the show that you see me at, when I tell you, I was like, hey, man, so PPP loans, huh? They looked at me with the... Nigga, I'm in Vegas. I'm like, where the hoes at? Nobody said nothing. I'm like, really? In Vegas?
All of us. You said really in Vegas?
I was losing these motherfuckers. But
bro,
no, I
you're
feel like
brilliant.
I got it. I just got to, and I'm telling you, it won't be set right in my mind. Like, me being successful in stand-up has nothing to do with money for me. This is about me setting it right in my mind and what I believe is my calling.
You know what got me out of my mind? The first time that I was able to talk normally the way I do off stage, on stage.
How did you learn it? Because I feel like you've done that since day one.
Bro.
You were like that at the Touch in 08.
Yeah. The comedian, big brother of mine, his name is Barry Stallworth, right? You know Ha Davis. You will always see him in the videos with Ha, but you don't see the tag. But it's like, he is brilliant. He's hilarious. He's the guy that taught me the foundation of stand-up, right? Before I had met any other of the Detroit comedians, he was the one that was giving me play-by-play how to react on stage to certain things. What kind of, what was a quick pop? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your icebreaker? You know, what your set has to consist of. Also, don't just be good at freestyling, be good at material. Also be good at roasting, because somebody's gonna try you. This is what you say when you get a heckler.
Took you to comedy school.
Yes,
essentially.
man. And it was valuable. It was so priceless. Shout out to Barry, man, Barry Stallworth, comedian Barry1 on Instagram. So anyway, one night he's hosting this comedy spot called Mandy's in Detroit, right? It's on the east side. I'm from the west side.
West side? Okay.
But it's on the east side.
the east, okay. So I'm assuming east side and west side aren't the best of friends.
Nah.
I got you.
But, you know,
keep it light.
Detroit shows love no matter what, but
it is an east side and it's a west side.
It's a different world. So
with no Cree summer.
Like, and Blackberry and me used to always joke because the east side people look rough in comparison to the west side people. Like, west side people just look, you know.
West side people on most cities are usually the more hipper. Yeah.
East side, man, they will destroy you.
Right.
So he's hosting, right?
Okay.
And we had an argument before the show. He's about to bring me up. He was like, hey, man, this next dude, he gonna come up here, he gonna bomb.
So he brought you up with the attitude and the disrespect.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna bomb. He gonna say the same jokes he was saying last week. They didn't work. Y'all give it up for him.
What did the crowd do when he said that?
They... right? So I get on stage.
A scatter clap.
And the first thing is...
It'd always be one loud, but like...
I guess they're not gonna clap. So he said it, and when I get on stage, the jokes that I was so nervous about, like you feel, I was like, I wasn't even thinking about it because I was so angry that he had disrespected me in his introduction, right? So I get on stage, I was like, damn, with friends like that, who needs enemies? They start laughing. I was like, this motherfucker's talking like I didn't drive. And I just kept going.
And so you're just addressing the situation.
Yes. And let me tell you what he did, man. And this is a testament to him and how dope he is. While I'm doing all of this, he's back there and he's like,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Because he knew that I had that in me, but he needed to push me. I had to get out of my head. So for you got to get out your head, man. It's a lot easier, of course, for me to say this to you because I know what you can't see. But for you being in it, you like, where is it? I'm like, it's right there. And you're like, I don't.
But where? It's in your head.
There.
But where?
Yeah. So it's like you just have to get your mind off it. I think podcasting for you, that's what this microphone is no different than a stand-up microphone. The only difference is if this room was full of people and they're just listening to the stuff that you say that makes me laugh on a regular.
I like that.
Talk like that to them, bro. You go on stage without, because you're going up and you're like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm fat. And the crowd's like, no, you're not. And you're like, nah, yeah, it's out of control. I'm like, that's not how they see you, bro.
It's out of control.
People are seeing you like the star that you are.
Right.
And that's how you have to address. Like when I go on stage, bro, first of all, I've never really been a self-deprecator. But it's like when I go on stage, it's an energy. Because I'm like, hey, what's up, man? We're going to have fun. You set the tone.
You do that. When was the last time you've been on stage?
Woo, brother. Last time I was on stage.
On stage.
The Keep Your Distance.
How long ago was that?
November.
Did you now? How long had it been before that?
Before that, July, doing Nate Jackson's Comedy Club.
5 months in between.
each.
So was there any rust?
Rust. The jokes that I had, I felt like I was saying somebody else's jokes because I wasn't this person anymore.
Wow.
Like my life has changed since last year. So, for example, this Friday I'm at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach.
I'm pulling up.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I ride with you?
Yeah, you can ride
Can
with
we eat after?
I haven't even. Yeah, okay, we get eat something after, man. Anyway, so I was like, you know what? You know what made me get ready? You actually made me. I was like, I think I might be ready to perform again.
How much time are you doing?
Maybe like 15, 20.
Is it gonna be all new stuff?
Oh yeah, I have no act. I have to say.
Do you even practice?
New stuff. Practice? I haven't done that since I was new. But I mean, I know my voice, so I don't really. If I was filming like a special, then it's like I'm gonna do the beats of all these bits so I can make sure it's perfect. But like when you're just doing sets, you're trying to build it.
So this will be your first set since November.
Since November.
I think that I definitely will go with you. And I'm thinking off the top of my head, do I have any plans? No, I don't. I want to go, and I think we should definitely talk about your first time back on stage this year on our next episode. All right, cool. I want to move on to the next. I know we got some stuff in our docket. Mr. DJ, can you please play this video? And I want you to tell me what your thoughts are on what you hear. We're not going to play the video because we don't want to get demonetized. Let's do it. That's a fact.
When last did you fuck me?
Do you really want to go there?
Please, no, answer the question. Do you remember? Because I don't.
I'll tell you.
How can I be in the same house touching myself with a boyfriend in the same house with me?
Okay, no, Denise, I've got this.
Right.
Okay.
Let's just hear what Paul's got to say.
All right, babe. Babe, I love you.
So why don't you touch me?
When I come home from work and I see my girlfriend, right? When I just see her, I'm happy. That's love to me. That's enough for me. But at the same time, why do you feel like you need me inside of you 24/7 before you can feel love?
I don't feel like I need you inside me 24/7, but I'm not wood. Okay, I'm a woman, and I find you attractive, and I would like to have sex with you once in a while, even if it's once a week, babe, because we don't do. When last?
All right, so
Also,
the question.
Jeez Louise, can he get a word in? I would like for them to go to a communication counselor.
Oh, they're talking to each other the right way.
Man.
The question is, can you stay in a functional, happy relationship if there is not enough sex? Now, of course, she was saying at least once a week. So I guess however much sex a person would need is subjective to the person.
Now I want to know how often or how not often they have sex.
That's not, exactly. So if she's saying once a week to get it, but what are your views on, do you feel like a relationship can be fully functional if one party feels like they're not getting sex enough?
No. Because you got to understand, man, the reason marriages and relationships end are usually because of sex and finances.
Okay.
Whatever under that umbrella of sex is, whether you're not getting enough, whether she wants it too much, whether it's, he or she is into something that you're not into, whether there's cheating involved or whatever, or they're bored, like that's all under the umbrella. And then finances, whatever that umbrella is, not making enough, treating the person like they're not worth anything because you got this money, whatever. So to have a fully functioning relationship, it also depends on love languages. Like it seems like one of her love languages is touch.
Physical touch.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one of Tangerine's love languages, right? And it's like, man, let me tell you something, brother. I've had this conversation. Let's like, yo, what's up? You want to be with them hoes, but you want to, and I'm like, listen, man, you know what I mean? So it truly does depend on you guys, how you guys start. Like if he started smashing her every single day for years and now he hasn't touched her in months, it's like, why wouldn't she feel like, what's up? Right. For her to say once a week, that sounds great in theory, but it's like sometimes if he's bored with her or if he's like, yo, I'm thinking about this over here, my mind isn't on this. I don't need you feeling like
I don't rock with you.
Yeah,
because of
my
this.
mind's on this. You know what I'm saying? And depression is real. Sometimes you might be depressed, and then it's like, hey, babe, touch me. You're like, I don't even want to touch myself. Right now. I'm trying to
let alone you
get this together. You know what I mean?
And I have a different take on it. I feel like it probably is true, but it shouldn't be. And let me tell you why. I feel like sometimes good sex in a relationship could be a deodorant to bad things.
True.
So I feel like sometimes if the sex is popping, that can make you overlook so much other shit because so many people are vested in how that feels in that moment for what it is. So I think that it is unfortunate because I think sometimes people think they're in a better relationship than they really are
because of the sex.
Because the sex is good. And I think that people don't ever really forecast for the probability that sex might just end up off of the table because life happens. Something might happen.
You have a kid
or he might have to be gone or, you know what I'm saying? Or what if you're in the Marines or, or in the services, you got to be gone or shit. What if your dick stops working? Who knows? Whatever. Or your elephant trunk stops working. I'm trying to not get it. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you never know what those things are. So I feel like when people put too much emphasis on having a good sex life, I think that there might be other problems that they are neglecting, you know what I'm saying, in the relationship.
They also, and I don't know if that's a piece of a larger interview where they talk about other things in their relationship, but it's like if you're only focusing on sex, something's wrong off top. Like there's so much more to a relationship than sex that could be, I always say the checklist. If you have 10 things on your checklist and 9 of them are checked off, if you're the type of person to trip off that one thing that isn't, you're never going to be happy.
Right, no matter who they put you with.
No matter who they put you with.
Because nobody can give you the 10.
No, you're never going to get 10 out of 10. And anybody that says they get 10 out of 10 is in a brand new relationship or they just don't want no smoke with their spouse. Yeah, I get all 10. Don't know what y'all talking about. I get 10, man. I know your lady gonna read the comments.
I get 10. I don't know what y'all talking about. I've been getting 10. You ain't got to
I've been with my lady for 30 years. Whatever.
No, but that's the thing that I'll be thinking about too, because I feel like when those relationships are set up like that, and then when somebody feels like they're not getting enough, I just feel like it opens it up to all the other bullshit that could happen, the stepping out. And then the messed up part about it is, you said like a lot of relationships falter because of either money or sex.
These
are
facts.
A lot of times, if I'm broke, I don't want to fuck nothing.
No.
I don't want to touch nothing. Like, I never understood how people could be broke smashing. Like,
well, here's the difference.
What are you doing? Like,
there's a difference between being broke and never having money. Like I remember a point where I had never made any money. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you do.
All I knew, like 21-year-old CT, bro. I was out in LA. I didn't know what money was because I didn't have it. Right. My parents took care of me my whole life. When it was time for me to take care of myself, I had no money. I had no money, bro. I have no money. Come on, man.
What?
Money? What? I knew it would work out, but I'm like, I don't have money. All I did was smash, bro. All I did was smash.
But you were also getting your ass up, going to the comedy club, shooting.
Of course. But that's work.
But there's some people that
I'm talking about money.
Right.
So I had no money, and I was having sex all the time, right? Because I hadn't had any money. then
Right.
you get money.
And then you like, what am I doing fucking?
No.
I don't have time for this shit. I don't have to. Bro, when my money is low and I'm like, sex.
You get
What?
money, then you lose it. Now you're in a place where you're like, I don't feel like doing it
Right.
because I've had a taste
Right.
of the good life. So that, yeah.
Sex ain't the same when you got a payment arrangement on your phone bill. It just ain't. It don't hit the same.
Well, you had to hang it up next week? Yeah, okay.
Like, yeah. You ain't finna be like, yeah, let me come over here and put it on you. It doesn't.
When you got to thank your representative for giving you
You
2
are
extra
so
days.
good. God is great. You know, with
you so
COVID,
much,
everything has been tough. We're all
blessings.
in between a blessing.
You ain't thinking about no smashy smash.
So listen, this next clip that I want to play for you, I wanted to really get your...
Wait, no, you got to go back because now there's so much meat on that bone.
Let's go back to the meat on the
So
bone.
so for you, in my relationship,
Right.
man, she tells me it is so important to her for the smashing.
Really?
However, let me tell you something. Tangerine, perfect spouse, on and off paper.
Perfect friend, too.
Yes, that's what
She's
I'm
10 out of 10 with the friend.
I have every single thing that I could want. I got 9 out of 10 on that list. I got everything that I want out of a partner, right? And then you say, hey, what if she said, hey, let's not have sex for 3 months? I still have my best friend that I'm watching movies with, and I'm a touch a titty every couple of days. You know
Every
what I'm
now and
saying?
again.
But
I'm a Copperfield.
there are so many other qualities in our relationship that I'm thankful for.
Right.
A lot of people can't say that. So for you, do you have everything that you want yours?
Yeah, I mean, with my relationship, I think I'm about 8 out of 10. I don't want to say 9 yet, but I feel
That's
like we could probably get to the 9 at some point. So with all of our other stuff, like it's like we're good, and you know, luckily we're good.
And
you know,
she's younger
sex-
than you, so she want to smash
all
all
the time. But sometimes I'll be like, nigga, like, relax. like my age is like these gray hairs and these beards is really starting to show up. But you know what I'm saying? But the thing about me is, if I'm upset about one of those things, though,
Can't perform.
I'm not into it. I'm like, yo, just watch out. And like I think like with Tony, like she gets over things quickly. So she just be like, we was
that's
arguing.
good.
We was just arguing last night. And like she just thinks that once you close your eyes and go to sleep and you wake up, the argument over.
Oh, no,
I'm
no,
like,
no. We didn't
keep
fix
that
nothing.
same energy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm back to the shits. So
Tangerine's mouth is my 10. Like, she's for all these things that she's amazing at. When she start with that mouth,
you know what it is, though? It's a combination of the mouth and the knowledge of what will hurt you to come out of the mouth. Or
Yeah.
to at least get under your skin. Once women
Under the
know,
skin, yeah.
because anybody can say anything to you, but your woman, she know the shit that hurts. She know the shit that you don't tell nobody, and she could use it as a dart whenever you...
when Tangerine get mad at me, bro, it's usually when she says something to make me angry. You know what I do?
What?
I get calm. She hates it. She hates it because I'm not a calm dude
Me
when I'm
too.
talking. So it's like if I'm calm, I've never seen her go from 0 to 100 so fast. I noticed it like 5 years ago, and I was like, God,
I'm the same way because I talk so much and
Yeah.
I'm so animated. All I have to do is stop talking. Anybody will instantly think something's wrong with me. Like no matter who I'm around. Like if you just come around me, I don't even got a friend. I could just. And if 2 to 3 seconds go by and I ain't said something, you be like, nigga, what's wrong? It just don't work. So once I get quiet,
Yep.
that definitely lets you know where it's at.
But other people don't be resolving arguments. Like people just argue, and I'm talking about y'all. People argue and they just move on to something else happy, not realizing that this unresolved issue is still going to come back up. But it's like you're an asshole if you bring it up.
But I got to bring it up to make my point.
Yeah.
And I'm always bringing up reference points to support my argument. She don't understand that shit.
And
She'll-
we're defending black. I'm so tired of this comment.
What?
Man, thank you so much for protecting black women. It's like, first of all, my mama black.
My
I'm
mama
always going to
too.
protect black women. But I'm also not going to act like men and women don't do things wrong.
Absolutely.
And we don't acknowledge that.
Right. So we ain't gonna
Thank
hang
you,
them out to
Doughboy,
dry. But
we were talking because we were talking about Precious and Leslie.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Doughboy, for protect. I was like, they both black. We were protecting both of them. No, Doughboy.
But thank you for speaking up on it. This next clip, I want to definitely hear your take on it because you're a married man. I know you're not a huge sports... Happily married. I know you're not a huge sports guy, but do you know who Dwayne Wade is?
Yes.
Okay, you never know, nigga.
I know
He was
the stars.
a comic book ass nigga.
I know the stars.
Okay.
Now, if you say who's Hibachi Jameson, I'm like,
Hibachi
who's Hibachi?
Jameson. That's just so funny.
He's a point guard. You don't know Hibachi?
Jameson is a nigga that used to play in the league. That's hilarious.
Hibachi.
So this is an excerpt from an interview, and D Wade is I'm gonna just play the clip. It's about him and Gabrielle Union's
Okay.
marriage. Please play the clip, sir.
In relationships, we come in and we try to change people. We try to change them to the way that we want them to be. But I decided to start taking a different approach, in this relationship. I think early on I came in like, hey, you get 2 drink max, bop, 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 bop. And she didn't respond well to that.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
It was reasons for that too. Let me say that.
I have a good time. Life of the party right here.
It's not the man leads and the woman follows. That's not what we live in this house, at all. So for me, I have a wife that works not just as hard, harder than I. And she had her own career. She had her own life before I came along. So from my perspective, it was like, okay, how can I be a part of the growth and the evolution of who she is, and not trying to change her or stunt her growth or make her in the way that I see in relationships.
Okay, cool. Okay, so basically the meat and potatoes of what he's saying is that he doesn't believe that men have to lead in a marriage. He is okay kind of taking the cue and just, maybe even following his wife's lead. What are your thoughts on this? Well, let me give my thoughts first. And then you give your thoughts. I don't agree with what Dwayne Wade is saying. Like, listen, now, is it his prerogative and his life and his family? Sure. So I'm not here to disrespect whatever they got. But as far as me and my house, I tell any woman that I'm serious about, if we're going to be in a relationship, it has to be 51-49. It can never be 50-50. Let me tell you why it needs to be 51-49.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, men are born leaders. We are creative. We're like, when it comes down to it, we got to go out. We got to make the money. Like, even in the caveman days, the man had to go out, do the hunting. The women was, cleaning. I'm not saying that women need to stay in that role, but I'm saying that is our DNA in us, is to be the men, to be the providers, the protectors. All this new age, this progression in relationships and, hey, I don't need to be the leader. I'm okay following a woman. Listen, no, I make sure that any relationship with me, it has to be 51-49, because if it's 50-50 and then we just get to the point where I've laid out how I feel about something, my lady has laid out how she feels about something, but we're not on the same page. Somebody's going to need to have that extra percent to make the decision. Now, as a good leader, I'm always going to listen to my woman. I'm always going to try to give her everything she wants. So it's not like I'm trying to rule like a dictator and just be like, hey, bitch, do what the fuck I say. No, it's not that. But I'm going to listen to what you're saying. But the ending decision comes on me because I'm the man of this house. So I'm not here to follow I need you to be able to know that I'm connected to God. I pray to God. I'm trying to be the head of this household, but you need to follow me. What are your thoughts as a married man?
First, that was a lot to take in. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because you're not married.
I'm not.
Are you?
I'm engaged.
You are not.
Well, one day I want in my mind.
Then when that happens in person.
Got it.
When you get a wife, do you want a partner or do you want a employee?
I want a partner.
Okay. So partnerships are 50-50. Now, let me answer your question. I am in a happily married relationship where I have a partner, right? However, my wife has led when I have not known about things and I've been able to follow her lead, and she follows my lead as I am leading her into life. However, because this is a partnership, I don't own her. Right. She's not mine. I tell her exactly.
Oh, we're about to get into this.
Yeah,
okay.
I tell her, of course, when it comes to your household, the final say in a situation is, yes, I'm the man. I'm your husband. You're my wife. Allow me to lead you. However, I'm not arrogant enough to lead her in a scenario that I know nothing about, right? Tangerine was Tangerine before CT came along.
True.
And together we made this extremely dope union.
Right.
And throughout that, I've learned so much from her that I would not have been able to learn had I had the ego of, hey, I'm running. I know you're making more money than me right now, but we taking my $20. We ain't going to that AMC. We going to the Dollar Show. And that, like, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to leading, as any woman will tell you, she will follow you as long as you know how to lead. Right. Now, when I say that to you, just because a man is a man doesn't mean that they're leaders.
True.
We have several friends that aren't leaders.
True.
They're followers.
Okay.
So when you are because you're a man doesn't mean that you're a leader.
But you're supposed to be.
We're supposed to be free. But are we? We're supposed to not be gunned down. Anyway, that's a different.
Right.
So just because we're supposed to be that doesn't mean that is the case, right?
Right.
You look at someone like myself who is a man, but I was raised by an incredible father. I had my mother, who's this strong single mother, my sisters, all amazing. I have these dominant women in my life. I had this dominant male in my life, and all of my uncles who were all these alpha dudes, right? And all of that taught me, it's like, yo, you could run your house with an iron fist.
Right.
Or you could literally accept this blessing that God gave you to enhance your life and not look to own that and control that. And I'm not saying you are with yours, but I think we're also talking about something different than providing, because I provide for my wife.
Right.
But I'm not
But see, okay, so let me interject now.
Yeah.
This is, and I don't by any means want to say, when I say 5149,
you want the bitch
that
in the
I
kitchen.
want to, I don't want like a woman to get red potatoes and grits, bitch. So, so that's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to look for a woman to dumb herself down, be meek, or be like my minion or my servant. That's not what I mean. What I mean by 5149, and the reason why it's not 75-25 or something ridiculous like that, it's like, no, we're equal, but at the end of the day, somebody's going to have to make a decision, i.e., so it's like this. If me and my lady want to go eat, right, and we both love to eat, even though she's skinny, she like to eat, right? Say we want to go eat, and so it's a Friday night, the world's open back up. I'm like, hey, babe, I'm going to take you out on a date. What you feeling like eating? So let's just say she's sitting there like, oh, no, maybe we can go to Hibachi Grill or this. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about a steak. So as we're, sitting there thinking about it, you know how people can be indecisive when they're, ready to eat. Let's just say that she's just like, oh, maybe I want a salad. I'm like, oh, man, fuck a diet right now. I want to go to BJ's, have a Pizookie, We will sit here for hours if somebody cannot make a decision. So what I'm saying is, it's not forget what you're thinking. It's not what you're eating doesn't matter. I'm going to listen. I want you to have what you want. 9 times out of 10, I'll probably pick the place that you want. But I want to be able to just have you knowing, as my woman, I can look at the situation, grasp it, and make a decision for all of us that we're all gonna win.
We're saying the same thing, but this is where your wording of yours is off.
Okay.
So what you're saying, yes, you want to be able to have a woman that knows you're going to take charge when it makes sense to.
And my decisions need
She's
to be made.
indecisive. Mm-hmm. Tangerine's very indecisive. I can't tell you how many decisions I've had to make for her and her meals and everything. But I think what you're not realizing is a good partner won't make you feel that a good partner knows that you both are strong and weak at certain points and the other one has to pick up the ball.
Right.
A great partner does not say 51-49. A great partner just knows that you guys are
So you're
equal.
saying everybody is 51-49, but only the nigga with the ego says it.
Yeah.
So I got an ego.
You're out of control.
Legal my ego?
Yeah, because what you're saying, this is a hostile takeover. I need her to know. She said salmon. No, I feel like you getting ribs today. That's not.
But I'm Muslim. Ribs.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
In a situation where, let's take, this is a perfect example. Tangerine helped me form my business, right? So in her helping me form my business, I didn't know anything about a corporation.
I was like, LLC, I like BBD. The fuck is LLC?
So in that, it's like I'm learning from it. I'm like, okay, cool. And she's like, don't do this, don't do that. Make sure that this happens. And it's like, okay.
Right. So you can learn from her.
Yes,
right.
But a 51-49 is looking like, hey, I'm forming a business. But I think I said I'm forming a business.
A construction business. You're a comedian. Construction, bitch. Where my hard hat? Matter of fact, you put it on.
But that's the difference. So I think I agree with what Dwayne Wade is saying because of their specific circumstance. Now, at the same time, just like I'm saying all these things to validate men and women, there aren't a lot of women who lead. right? There are so many women that's like, yo, I'm doing all this stuff by myself. I would love to not.
Right. That's
Can
how
you
Tony
da-
is.
da- da- da.
Tony prefers that. Tony prefers, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm saying, she says she's a dependent woman. I'm like, all right.
Right, and she's into that because it's like, you know, even though she's younger, she's old school mentality that way. But I always tell women that, and like I always get a little bit of kickback because I'm like, why? It's 1%. It's just the ability, because if not, I just feel like you can just sit there and just be at a stalemate, and then what?
Well, that's because you're going back to not realizing that type of relationship are these two people. So when I say, do you want a partner, you want an employee, it's fine. At different points in my life, I've wanted an employee.
So does my relationship sound like a partner and employee?
Yes. But, I mean, listen, man, I'm only going to give you the truth. At different points, I've had relationships where I've only wanted an employee. Like, don't give me no kickback. Just please just do what I'm asking you to do. And then at the moment where you like, yo, I want to build, it becomes, I want a partner. Please pick up where I'm weak. Let me make sure that you're feeling strong even when you're weak. Let me pick you up. Like that's a life partner. I wanted that. I didn't want damsel in distress. I didn't want let me have to think for you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what do you want to watch? Whatever you want to. Oh my God, do you have a fucking personality?
Right.
Like
whatever
I didn't want
you
that.
want, Your Highness.
So partner worked better for me. Now, for a lot of my relatives with their wives, they have employees. And I get it. A lot of my aunts have employees as husbands. You know what I'm saying? So it pretty much boils down to what you
Wait, some
want.
of your aunts have employees. Wait, so a woman could be the boss and a man could be the employee?
Listen, man, there's some weak dudes out here, bro. Wow. There are some brothers that don't know what to do
And they're
life.
cool with it.
Listen, man, there are some beta males out there that are cool with being betas, and there are some alpha women that don't know how to submit. And then there are a lot of alpha women who are only alphas because of the situation and would prefer to be.
Okay, and maybe I did know this, and maybe I've been overlooking it my whole life. You're telling me that there are alpha females in the world who exist with beta males that they kind of just follow the woman, and she kind of sets the rules and the precedents of the relationship?
Let's look at a generation. When you look at, let's take the 60s and 70s, right?
Right.
Here are these women who a lot of them were married. These are your grandparents, right? And now let's say the grandparents break up. The granddaddy leave the house or he dies. Now the grandma got to take care of everything. Now she's just been forced to get out of dependency and become independent. And now she is this alpha woman, right? She's raising a daughter. The daughter sees her mother doing all of this. So by turn, in most circumstances, she becomes an alpha. So now she's dating guys. So she doesn't want to date a guy who has less than her. She wants to date a guy who has more than her. Can't find that because a lot of men are turned off by women who are doing too much and tell them what it's supposed to be because they want to be the man. So now they're single, right? And or they find a guy who's equal to an alpha and it's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to do this anymore.
So it just depends
You can
on
be
what
the
type
man.
of woman and how she deals with whatever life she had before.
Yeah, man.
Because and then that kind of just brings an even bigger question. Like if you're having black households and at least for a percentage of the time there is no male in the household, then I believe that you're raising young women and men to not even look at the man as low-key, as maybe even the provider. So maybe if you have a woman who is involuntarily turned into an alpha female just based on the situation, let's say she's raising a son and a daughter, she's going to raise her daughter to be the alpha because that's what she sees. And that might in turn raise her son to be a beta because he sees a strong alpha woman. So then when he grows up, he may want a woman like you know what I'm saying?
Or the boy becomes an over alpha because he sees his mother as an alpha and his sister, and he's like, no, I'm the man of the house.
And then he might want a 75-25 split as an alpha.
He wants an employee, or he wants a woman that gets off her ass and works. So this goes to this ties into the relationship thing. Most women who don't have their father around or, don't have a good relationship with their father. I'll just give an example. I'm not even going to generalize it.
Okay.
Man, one of the homies was dating this girl.
Okay.
They got in an argument. I happened to be around for it. And she was like, yeah, whatever, bitch, to him. And I was like,
yo.
What?
Whoa, wait,
did she just call you? He was like,
did you hear that?
Yeah, man. And then I asked her separately because I was like, hey, man, this is hot right now. I said, hey, what's your relationship like with your father? She was like, I don't know that. And I was like, got it. Because you don't know that that's not okay. No matter how. Let me tell you something. Tangerine and I, I'm going to just say we've been together for 11 years. Okay? She has never fixed her lip. We have been in some knockdown, drag out. She has never fixed her lips to even at her angriest.
It's the worst thing you could do to a man is call him a bitch.
Bro, and the women who do that, keep in mind, bro, a lot of those chicks who do that, it's like, hey, all right, I know who I'm dealing with.
Right. Let me get up. This never ends well.
And of course, in the comment, well, what about the guys that I don't want to hear that?
That's not what we're talking
We're
about.
not talking about
It's not
that.
our turn.
Focus on what we're talking about.
So now, man,
Woo.
this has been a fire episode. I had one other thing that I wanted to
Get
put
to
on
it.
here, but I don't know if I want to put it on there because it was music playing in it, and I don't need this this post.
You talking about the rappers?
Yeah. So it's basically, I'll just tell you what happened. So it's basically a rapper. He was graduating high school though, and what was his name? Kind
No, I thought you were talking about the verses.
Oh, let's talk about that. Forget that. Let's talk about that. There's a versus coming up this weekend.
It's really coming up.
It's really coming up.
Okay.
It's really this Saturday.
What day? This Saturday?
This Saturday. I think that me and you should go live during this and just, if you're going to watch it, I would
Why
watch
would we
it.
go live during it?
Just to see how, I don't know. I just be wanting to go live with my friend.
Let me tell you something.
You can sort of throw it in there. We should go live. We just got to keep going.
We
But
could go
why?
live after.
And talk about it. But let me ask you this first. So the versus is Bow Wow versus Soulja Boy.
Gonna
Now,
be fire.
before you tell me what your pick is,
Yeah.
both of the irony about this, they are both trailblazers in their own right.
Yes.
Bow Wow getting signed at like 6 years old, getting signed by Snoop Dogg, coming out with an album, the
Yeah.
Like Mike, and then so he was like really one of the first.
Bow Wow was the hottest guy on the planet.
Bro,
at one
with
point.
the dances and the bars, like he was a star. And this is what I think that he doesn't get credit for. A lot of times child stars grow up and they have other issues in life later.
Yeah.
He's been pretty regular, focused, and stellar for 30 years. He's had a couple of
He's done some
riffs.
corny shit.
He's done some corny things.
But
for
other than that, yeah.
But for the most part, like, do we look at him how we look at some other child stars?
No.
And plus for him to be a rapper, like he was the first kid rap. He was younger
He
than
wasn't the
Crisscross.
first.
But he was younger though. He,
he was
like
youngest.
6.
Yeah, the youngest.
So he had that. And then Soulja Boy being the first dude to really pop on YouTube, had everybody in the world doing the dance. And he had a really big impact on a lot of rappers. People don't be giving Soulja Boy his pop. Drake quoted Soulja Boy with "Tell me what's really going on." That was a Soulja Boy flow. Who are you picking, Soulja or Bow Wow?
Here's
And
the
why?
thing, bro. I got nothing but love for both those dudes, nothing but respect for both those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about massive hits.
Hits.
Now, Bow Wow got some massive hits.
Uh-huh.
But Soulja Boy,
Soulja. You better tell him.
Soulja,
Hit him with the pasta.
Soulja Boy, people get confused because of all his antics.
Right.
Soulja Boy has made bangers.
He has.
Donk will
Donk.
kill
Pretty
people's
Boy
albums.
Swag.
Pretty Boy Swag. What? Pretty
Bruh,
Boy Swag.
and then the dance,
Let me
like
see your bird walk. Bro,
niggas were saying on Twitter that Bow Wow gonna have to start playing his movies.
but Bow got hits.
He do,
But Soulja
but he
Boy,
had hits with Sierra, the Like You. He had a joint album with Omarion.
Yeah.
Let me hold you, man. He did that whole thing.
That album had 3
those
songs.
moves alone.
tops. That album had 3 songs.
So you picking Soulja?
I'm picking Soulja. I love Bow though. I'm gonna be there supporting and singing along.
I think that Bow might edge him.
Soulja Boy got it.
Do they have 20 between the two of them?
Okay, now let's.
They
That's
might
what we
have
need
to
to
play
talk about.
6 each and just play the whole song. Just play your second verse. I don't know if each of these niggas got 20.
I don't want to hear B-sides.
Listen. I may have 7 that I could off top head like say off for both of them, but 20? That's a lot of songs, niggas. So we gonna see. But
Out of your system, like Bow Wow got some major hits. Bow Wow got vibe hits too.
he do.
Like these are
He's
vibes.
Mr. 106 in Park. I'm going with Bow Wow. I think he's gonna bring the nostalgia. I think he's gonna
will.
show us some. I think he'll hit that Bow. What was that? Where my dogs at? Bow Wow Wow Yippee Yo Yippee. That first record, he had Snoop in the video with the 6'4".
Listen, Bow got hits.
I think that we got to get the baggy jeans.
Soulja got anthems.
He do got anthems. I think it's gonna be a lot closer, but I think I'm gonna pick Bow Wow over. I think that we'll come back and we'll tell the world who won.
We got to talk about that. We're going to go
definitely-
live because this episode drops tomorrow. So we got to do that. Doing that bonus really threw our
It
schedule
really did.
off.
Because I had totally forgot we had said Monday. I got the email. I was like, tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
Because yes, I would have been no good.
It's all good. It's all good.
That bonus threw us off. So this
but
episode,
the fans loved it.
They did.
Did you see that the bonus outperformed the regular episode on my page at least?
Well, clearly they're not rocking with the episodes on my page. Jesus Christ.
Side note, we got to wait and see if
The
Jamie,
thumbnails are dope.
How much time we giving Jamie to respond to your challenge until
Man,
we call him out again?
Jamie Foxx is scared.
Oh, you gonna double down on it?
Jamie Foxx is scared.
Jamie, I know you ain't gonna let him talk to you like that.
To
man.
respond. First of all, you're a legend. Jamie, you've known me since I was 20 years old. You're scared.
And you told
Prove
him
me
that
wrong.
you gotta want it, so we want to see.
You gotta want it, Jamie
You on the
Foxx.
clock, man. You got about 21 more days, and then CT gonna come out with an R&B diss record. This has been
Blame it on the
Doughboy.
ghost.
This
It's
has
your boy
been
CT.
another Justice League
Hey,
podcast.
go to the go get the merch, man.
Yes.
Justice League podcast, bro.
Yes.
You see it, share the videos. Let
Like
me tell you
the
something.
video.
Beyond us building the joints on our page, man, we are trying to get ourselves into a sponsorship deal.
Yes,
Only way we
need
can
it.
do that is with y'all.
Yes.
Share the video. Go
Like
to both
the
our
videos.
pages, share the video, like the video, comment on both pages. We appreciate the support, man. Donation Team CT all day. And you do know that.
Next time. Peace.